Hey y'all, welcome back to the Raven in Real Life podcast on the Home and Lifestyle Now Network. And today, what a lot of you don't realize is I'm sitting next to, I'm the hero, you're the sidekick, to my sidekick.
That's right.
Mayor Skip Henderson.
Glad to be here. Thank you for the invite.
I'm so glad that you're here. I'm excited to learn more about you.
I had to work my way up. I kept waiting to be invited. And it just,
People might know you after
happened.
this.
So, that's frightening.
So tell me a little bit about you. What's exciting in you heard any good news lately?
Yeah, there's always good news. I mean, it's this. Most of my good news comes from the community. There's a lot of cool things going on in the city right now. Of course, we've got elections coming up next year, and I know everybody's kind of focused on that. It'll be first time since 1997 that I have not been involved in a political race. Yeah. So I get to get smarter because I can sit on the outside and look in, right? So it'll be kind of fun.
Heck, since 97. What does that do to your body?
Well, I can tell you that the kid that I walked around knocking on doors with was like this. He's now a 38-year-old lieutenant in the fire department. So, yeah. But I tell you, the real hero in all of that, though, and all kidding aside, is my wife.
Yeah.
She has put up with so much stuff over the years and could not have been able to do any of this stuff if it weren't for her.
So what are you going to do for her then? I mean, don't tell me exactly. We don't want to spoil the surprise.
Yeah, not stay home for one because she'll be trying to chase me out of the house. But she's owed more than I can pay her, so we'll probably take a trip, go catch our breath together, and just kind of hang out a little bit.
Nice. I love her, by the way. Let me tell you guys a story. I know the secret to your success, and you told me. And I hope you don't mind that I'm about to tell your secret.
Well, would it matter? So, yeah.
You're right. All right. So picture, you guys. The year was 2023, and we were at the Hope for Autism Gala, I believe.
Yes.
And she and I were out on the dance floor just spinning, being dancing queens. And now this story is, at least half of it will be about 70% true. And just don't correct me.
They're always better when you embellish.
Okay. So me and her are dancing, and I see him across the room. He's actually standing beside me. But I go, Skip! And he comes over, and I say, are you going to show us how to move? And you told me you had 2 rules in this life. Do you remember what you told me?
No.
Rule number 1, which is secret. So I don't know what that is, and I'm not good at secrets, so that's why I'm not quite as successul yet. Rule number 2, you never dance to ABBA.
Oh, I do remember that.
Do you stick to that?
Yes. I am no dancing queen. I'm not going to be able to show any moves to ABBA. And I'm a little concerned that so many people can. So that's,
yeah. Well, me and her definitely could. So
yes, y'all did a good job.
We did it. We did it. So okay, let's go back. What were your parents like, and what was little Skip like?
Oh man, listen, little Skip was a little fat blob when he was a kid. I mean, my name is Barry H. Henderson III. I've gone by Skip since I was about 4.
Yeah.
But before that, they called me Dump. Yeah, I was real proud of that. My wife, if she's listening to this, is going to say, please don't say that again. But no, my dad was in the military. I was born in Columbus, just by the good fortune of him being a second lieutenant out at Fort Benning. We stayed here for just a little while, moved all over on Uncle Sam's dime. Mm-hmm. When it came time for him to consider retirement, he came back for his last tour here in Columbus back in '74.
Okay.
And that allowed me to go through Columbus High School without having to change schools again. And yeah, I've been in Columbus ever since. My mother was she used to do a lot of stuff. She was the firefly in our lives. She always believed that you enjoy life, you enjoy the people you're with, and you just have a good time. And she was good at doing that. In fact, she worked at the airport for a while in the gift shop, and she just did it, I think, really to get away from us when we were coming home from school. But yeah. In fact, oh my gosh, I'm going blank. The Columbus and Valley magazine, Mike Venable. Mike wrote an article about my mom because he said he had a crush on the gift shop lady because he used to cut grass in front of the airport.
Yeah.
He's such a great guy. I've saved the article because it was just so cool. But yeah, so I'm an Army brat. I was fortunate enough to outlast Karen, and I was able to convince her to marry me. We've been married 42 years.
Pause.
Pause.
How did you know that she was going to be the one that you were going to make Miss Columbus, Georgia?
Oh, she didn't make me change my socks every day. No, I'm just kidding. No, she's, I knew right away. It's so crazy. But yeah, it's one of those deals that, because we started dating, I was 23, she was 25, mm-hmm. And she, what she ever saw in me, I have no idea. But yeah, I knew probably after the first 2 months that we were going to try to put a ring on that finger.
Okay. First lady, you got him. You just snatched him up.
No, there wasn't a lot of demand, number one, for me. But yeah, so very fortunate to have two incredible kids. Mm-hmm. One I kidded about. Our son is a lieutenant in the fire department here in Columbus. Our daughter lives in Atlanta. So
very nice.
We've lived a very blessed life so far.
That's awesome. And I heard something. So I was going to ask you about, your Columbus High days. Did you play sports? Were you out there a lot? Were you kind of a bad kid?
No, I probably wasn't as good a student as my parents would have liked me to be.
Yeah.
But no, I played a little basketball and baseball, but there wasn't a whole lot of call for a 135-pound catcher that was bouncing throws to second base. So,
okay.
But yeah, I mean, as a kid, we just did all kinds of stuff. Columbus was, believe it or not, kind of a fun place as a kid. We jump on your bike when you get home.
Yeah.
And then when you got a little older, you jumped in a buddy's car, and and then you really looked for some fun. But yeah, so it's I still remember most of my teachers. A lot of them were a lot of fun. Miss Hussey, Susan Hussey, mm-hmm. Was our humanities teacher. She was probably the coolest teacher in the school at the time. So yeah, went to Columbus High School.
That makes such a difference in kids' lives when there is that teacher out there that you just always remember that they really believed in you and put stuff into you. So do you do stuff for our school system now? Are you doing stuff for our teachers?
I served a long time ago when I was on council with the Muskogee Excellence in Education Foundation. I think that's an incredible organization in the way they continue to recognize the true heroes in our community, and that's the teachers that are in our school system.
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan of Dr. David Lewis's. He and I have an opportunity to collaborate quite often. But I know the late Judy Thomas, MEEF, was very important to her. And we try to go and make sure that we acknowledge and do whatever little part that we can to help celebrate those teachers.
Yeah, I could not do it. So a little known fact, my initial path in college was early childhood education, and I made it through a couple of years, and then I had to do I never even became a student teacher.
Yeah.
I was just doing observation hours, and I said, not me, Lord. That was not my path.
Listen, it takes nothing to be ashamed of, because it's a calling. Mm-hmm. In fact, I told so many people that as we worked our way through COVID back in the early 20s, there were two groups of individuals that I felt like were the glue for our community.
Yeah.
And it's because they're both connectors. One were teachers, because they were keeping kids included in what was going on, and trying to do it through a video kind of deal, just FaceTime and Zoom and all that stuff. And then the other group was the pastors, because people really wanted to stay connected during a time when they were being told not to connect.
Yeah.
And so I think those two groups, we'll never be able to thank them enough for what they did during all that.
100% agree. Now, speaking of churches, did you play softball for your church?
I did. I played a lot of softball, almost to the point where my wife said it's me or traveling, because we used to travel. If we could get there within 3 hours every weekend, we were going and playing softball. But we did play in a co-ed league, and that was really cool, because I got to play with my son was in the outfield, my daughter was on the infield. So
that is so cool.
My wife was, getting out the witch hazel and making sure that we were put back together again after we got out of there. So
that is okay. So I had just got off the phone a little bit before you came in, and somebody brought that up because I was like, I'm giving him the opportunity. I'm going to let him come speak on my show. And he said, he is a hell of a softball player. You need to bring that up.
I was a legend in my own mind. I'll tell you, I'm not sure how good I was, but we were good at having fun, that's for sure. But it was a lot easier to hit that ball when it was being thrown underhanded.
Probably true, but we're going to give it to you. You are a legend.
No, thank
you.
So
let's see. Okay, I had stopped you abruptly once you got to the fact you got married.
Yep.
What else exciting's happened in that time since then?
I think I worked with my dad. My dad, when he got out of the Army in, I think, 75 or 6, he got his real estate license, and he went to work for Bill Cook Realty, which was over on Armour Road. Mm-hmm. And then after about a year, he and 4 or 5 other people bought it. Mm-hmm. And then about 2 years later, he had bought them out. So he owned what he changed the name to Showcase Realty. Mm-hmm. And real proud of my dad. He was a helicopter pilot in the Army. He flew those big old Chinooks, those banana-looking things in Vietnam. And then when he got out, went and got another degree and got in real estate, and he was one of the real estate leaders in the state of Georgia.
Wow.
And so I went to work with him and got involved in, I got licensed as a broker, licensed as an instructor, and so we used to teach the real estate class, and that's kind of my background in real estate and in banking, finance.
So y'all smart.
No, just hang around with people who are.
I never want to be the smartest person in the room.
No, if I'm the smartest person in the room, then I'm in a lot of trouble. So.
Oh goodness. Let's see. Let's talk about the fact that you sit through for years those city council meetings. Mm-hmm. How do you do that? That's
no dose. No, it's it's really kind of crazy, and I had a bunch of guys come and visit me back in 1996 and talk to me about running for an at-large seat. Mm-hmm. Phil Battistini was retiring from council. Mm-hmm. And I thought, man, you guys are nuts. I'm not really that thrilled about. I've never been involved in politics. I never was on student council. I wasn't somebody that kind of sought the limelight and trying to be the focal point of attention. But yeah, they said, and they gave me some advice. They said, go ahead and throw your hat in the ring early. Mm-hmm. You'll scare everybody off. Threw my hat in the ring, 6 people jumped in. So clearly I didn't frighten anybody politically. And I won in a runoff. So I actually went through the experience of losing, but we made a runoff, and then we won. That runoff piece was done. But and then after that, I have never had an election where I didn't have opposition.
Yeah.
So hey, we'll retire 8-0 and we'll be in pretty decent shape, I guess. So.
Can I go ahead and get a pre?
Yeah, we'll do that.
That's awesome. So what is your advice to the folks that are throwing their hat in the ring right now?
Well, we said jokingly earlier, don't. But that's not true at all because, you got to have good people who want to do it for the right reasons. I mean, I've seen people in other parts of the state and the country that it appears to me, in my opinion, that they may not have gotten in the race for the right reason. And if you're getting involved in particularly local politics, which is my favorite part, I've had people ask me about running for state. Some really deluded individuals talked about running for Congress. And number one, I don't like strictly partisan politics. I understand the reason behind it. I know that money gets everybody involved and gets them in a point where they can run for that type of office. Mm-hmm. I just don't happen to buy into it. I like the idea that Columbus local elected officials are nonpartisan. So yeah, I really think that the purest form of government is local government.
Agreed.
And it should be, because I think at the state and even the federal level, they should try to leave as many of those decisions up to the locally elected officials as possible, because they're the ones that are charged with knowing the heartbeat of the people they serve, and knowing the folks that they are interested in trying to help out. So I think it's a long way of saying the best advice I can give them is, be sincere. You're not going to be liked by everybody, and there are times you won't be liked by anybody. So don't let 50 people on Facebook who have posted 125 times dictate your policy.
Correct.
Because out of those 50 people, you got to realize there's still almost 210,000 who haven't reached out. And that's why I always liked at-large position on council, because I liked the idea that my vote was going to be held accountable by every single person in our community.
I love that. I got to say, what you said about that, about the Facebook warriors out there, I pop my popcorn. I kind of like it when they come on and give y'all a little bit of hell. I got to say that.
It's entertaining.
Yeah. So they definitely need to have thick skin. Be prepared for that, because.
Yeah, and it'll teach you patience too.
Yeah.
I think you can't be too quick to respond and too quick to anger, and you have to realize that when people, even the keyboard warriors, there's a reason behind why they're saying what they're saying. So you have to kind of be able to sort through, all the weeds and get to the essence of what it is that they're serious about. And oftentimes there are things that other people in this community are concerned about and just haven't really delved into. So you just gotta be patient. You gotta have thick skin, and I think you gotta have a truckload of compassion, because you gotta want to help other people. What I want people to know, and would love for them to acknowledge, is that we have issues in Columbus, and I serve on a number of different boards with Georgia Municipal Association, and so I have an opportunity to talk with mayors and city council members and city managers all the time. I want people in Columbus to know just how incredible this community is, because I hear it all the time from people who are serving in similar capacities around the state. We've tackled the issues. We're not through, because you can't rest when you're continuing to try to make this community, or any community, a really interesting, a really fun, and just a really profitable place to live. You can't quit. You got to keep working to try to make it better, because the target moves.
Yeah.
So we've done I think our police chief has done a good job on some of the issues we had when we were trying to impact crime. We've also had a number of people who have just gotten involved. The thing about this community that is so special to me, in my opinion, is the people. That sounds hokey, but if you wait for government to do everything for you, you're never going to get it done. This is about the private sector engaging in an environment that the public sector has tried to create an atmosphere that encourages that growth, encourages the initiatives that are designed to try to provide people an opportunity to move up. I hear people talk a lot about generational poverty. What concerns me more is the generational hopelessness, because what happens, I think, is a lot of people that have grown up in an environment where the sociological issues may be tougher there, the financial issues may be tougher there. They tend to accept that is what life is supposed to be like. And so the big challenge for government and for different resources and organizations is to try to make sure that those individuals know there's more if they want it, but they got to work for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not about going and giving people stuff. It's about providing an opportunity for them to climb that ladder and be there to help them. If I can help somebody, help them get on the right path, then that's what I want to do.
I love it. I was just talking on last week's episode to Amy Bryan, and we were talking about how people around here say there's nothing in Columbus, there's nothing to do, it's such a boring. We have so many things going on, and then Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You're doing a better job than I was.
No. And then I was going to say, and I'm friends with so many of our local restaurant owners, and whenever a business will go out of business, people will be on there saying ugly things, but they were never going to those restaurants or those businesses in the first place. So we got to, at our level, take care of the community too.
Well, you're exactly right. And by the way, I love me some Amy Bryan. Next time you see her, tell Jethro I said hello.
Okay.
She'll understand what I'm talking about. And I think that's the key. People want to blame. I mean, we live in an environment right now where it just seems people want to point a finger. And they forget that when you point one, you got 4 pointing back at yourself. So when you've got a restaurant that closes, that's a sad deal, right? Because somebody invested their money into trying to make it work. But almost every time, within a month or two, there's another restaurant in that location. And it may be something that just happens to fit in that niche a little bit better, and it succeeds. So I think if you look for the negative, you'll find the negative. But also know that if you look for the positive, you're gonna find things that exceed your expectations. I'll tell you a quick little example of that. Baseball. The Klingstones, and by the way, I lived 66 years somehow and never knew what the heck a Klingstone was. But the thing that is so fascinating about that environment out there is even if you don't like baseball, there are families all over the place. You find people, almost every time I go to a game, and my wife and I bought season tickets, so we go more than we probably should admit. But we see people that have driven in. The Opelika Chamber of Commerce came to visit just on an outing and hang out at the ballpark. We find people from Virginia that just saw this announced as like the number 3 ballpark in AA ball, and they wanted to come see it. We got people that stay at the Indigo or the AC by Marriott or the Hampton Inn, and they walk all the way down Broadway to get to the ball field. Yeah. It's people who come in here for the first time or maybe just the second or third time, and listen to them talk about what a jewel we have in Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah.
And that's when you hear it from people who are coming from out of town, and they have a frame of reference from not only where they live, but other places they visited. It makes me so proud of the people here in Columbus, Georgia that have had the foresight to try to do things that are making it better every day for the citizens here.
Yes. Get behind local sports, get behind local artists, get behind locally owned businesses, and rock your vote when the time comes.
Right? I like it.
Right?
Yeah. I was just going to say, you mentioned something else that we didn't talk a lot about, and we have some incredibly talented artists in this community. And look at all the museums we have. I mean, my wife and I talk, we're going to try to have just like a staycation where we go hit all the museums. Columbus Museum is incredible after that $25 million renovation. The National Infantry Museum, 7 years in a row, it's been named the best free museum in the USA. And you don't want to forget the Civil War Naval Museum. And if you want to have a lot of fun, go over to Alan Woodall's lunchbox, radio, and Tom's, and all this stuff, all their museum pieces. It's just so cool.
Can you believe it? I am 25 years old and I still have not made it over to... Why are my people in the back laughing at me? I don't know. But I still haven't made it over to the Lunchbox Museum yet.
Let me tell you something. I'll give you a reason to go. Mm-hmm. It'll humiliate me a little bit, but it's also kind of funny. Hanging in his radio part of the museum is a satin jacket from WPNX Radio with Skip McKay written right here. That was my jacket. When I was in college, I worked as a disc jockey at a little country station over in Phoenix City.
Did you?
Yep.
Skip McKay.
It gives you a reason to go check it out.
I'm going to go selfie with it and I'll tag you.
I think you need to.
Okay. So let's, I guess, last real question. Is there anything big that you're really working on to accomplish before the end of the reign?
The end of the reign, huh? Actually, there are some things that we're trying to push across the finish line. One thing we want to do is we've been very fortunate. We're always looking for ways to try to provide kids opportunities. And years ago, it wasn't mine. I believe in R&D, rip off and duplicate. So We had years ago. We had a situation where they built an organization that put young people to work in the city. So I said, shoot, man, we ought to try to do that too. So unfortunately, the first one was when COVID hit. But we still pulled it off. We only had about 14, 15 kids participate. This past year, we're wrapping up this year, 136 kids. And these are young people that don't have their FAFSA filled out. They're not going to a college. These are people that have 1 foot in bounds, 1 foot out of bounds. And we want them to learn how to be a good employee. We want them to learn how to handle inter-office conflict. And we pay them $14 an hour to try to do something within our community. So we want to grow that. That's one thing I'd like to do next year, is grow that exponentially so that we continue to add more people to that. But there's a few other things we're trying to accomplish as well. We talked about baseball. The reason for baseball is the potential investment in South Commons. Before I get out of here, I want to see some dirt moving over there so that we're starting to put in hotels, single-family residence, restaurants, all types of, and to regreen it, put some greenery back in there instead of just that asphalt. And one other thing that we haven't really publicly pushed, because it's tough to do when you're trying to change the paradigm of how you accomplish things. We need to get better and more streamlined at helping people chase their dream, whether it's building a house, whether it's starting a business. So we're going to work over the next year to try to streamline that process with our IT department and try to make it a little bit more pleasant and more successful visit for people when they come into the consolidated government. So.
Well, if there's anything that I can do to help push the dreams, you just let me know.
You just keep fighting that crime that you're doing.
Hey,
so.
I kind of hinted on it, but people can say whatever they want. Crime has absolutely dropped in Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah, we recognized it in 21. Every city, it seemed like, had their zenith, right? It's where it hit the highest level ever. And that happened to us. We weren't out of pace with some of the other tier 2 cities in Georgia, but it didn't matter. We were focused inwardly. Well, we're down now, right now, about 34% this year over last year, and we're down 20+% from last year to the year before. So we've also been able to hire more police officers. So we're just about full with our police officers. Our council's done an incredible job of providing funding for cameras and technology. We'd love to get you a shot of our real-time crime center. We got about 4 people in there that work in there, TVs scattered all across. We can actually, using historical data, predict where crime is likely to happen and preemptively show up. And now you don't really stop all of it because it just moves. But we have seen a tremendous amount of success in using multiple forms of law enforcement. But we have also made sure that we include crime prevention. We put over $1 million a year into grassroots level grants to help keep crime from happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, is Columbus a safe place? Absolutely. Are there pockets of areas in our community that are not safe? Absolutely. And where we find ourselves is at the precipice of trying to make a decision. We look, and if those issues exist and we know about it, don't you think we need to do something about it?
You're going after it.
Yep.
And on top of all that, while you guys are safe in your bed at night, Skip and I are out there, hero and sidekick, taking care of things y'all never even know happen.
That's right.
There's one more thing. I think this was sent over from your office.
Uh-oh.
You don't have to read it, but if you want to read it to that camera over there, you just let me know. And if you don't
I have
want
one person from my office shaking her head saying, I swear I didn't do it.
If you don't want to read this, we'll just cut this part. But if you do, go ahead.
Oh man, yeah, I would. I wish I had written it. All right, we will. I, Mayor Skip Henderson, do proclaim in an unofficial capacity 2025 to be Raven in Real Life Year in Columbus, Georgia. Whereas everything is more fun when she shows up. Whereas everything she does is amazing. Whereas after this year, she plans to take over for the 2-6 and the 2-7. It is proclaimed 2025 is unofficial Raven in real life year. Signed, Mayor Skip Henderson.
I did not expect this. I will accept.
There you go.
Hey.
Now it is signed. I don't have a seal.
I'm not going to tell y'all what he actually wrote. This may or may not be.
No,
Just kidding.
That's my name.
This is official. Well, Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
it has been my pleasure.
Raven, the pleasure's been mine. Thank you for all you do to keep people informed. You do a great job. I've talked with you on your podcast. I remember in parking lots talking to people. So just thank you. Keep fighting a good fight.
You too.
Thank you.
Till
ma'am.
next time,
Yep.
this was Raven in real life.